Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. So today I kind of want to talk to you about my camera equipment, what I have and what I use, and maybe some of the pros and cons and also things that I would like to get maybe in the future. Now, photography is a bloody expensive hobby. It's so expensive because once you start kind of getting good at it and realizing what you want and what you need, it starts to add up because you kind of want a different lens for every occasion. You kind of want different microphones and different cameras and different lenses and angles and all the rest of it. So it can get very expensive. So I kind of thought I would talk you through what I have, some of the pros and cons of each of the items, and then some of the things that I would like to maybe get in the future. I'm hoping this is somewhat useful for people who may be considering some of the items that I've got, or maybe who aren't sure what a photographer would have in their camera bag and kind of where to start and what kind of equipment you might need. So obviously I'm using some of the equipment now to film on, so I can't show you and actually hold you some things. So I might have to put pictures on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But the first thing I have is the Sony A6600. Now I bought this earlier this year, only maybe 3 months ago, something like that. So it's still quite new to me. But there are two things that I'm not loving, and I'll be honest about it. So the first thing is the flip up screen. So for sit down videos like this, I used to use my Rode Video microphone, and the hot shoe for this microphone, or the cold shoe, is on top of the camera, which is also where the screen is. So if I want to have a microphone on my camera, it blocks the screen so I can't see myself in the screen above. Now my old camera, I had the Canon M50, and that had a flip out screen, which some people I know find annoying because you kind of look to the side to check if you're in focus rather than just looking up quickly. And also it's kind of wider, but I honestly preferred it so much more because I could have a microphone on top and I'd still be able to see myself on the side. And with this setup, if I have a microphone on top, I can't see myself. Like I just can't. End of. So I know that there is a product that you can buy that kind of puts your hot shoe somewhere else on the camera. So basically, since I've had this camera, I've used my Rode Video Micro 2 or 3 times, but I tend to switch now to my Rode Wireless Go. This option, I can kind of clip the other side onto my hand strap and then have the other side here. It also means I can walk away from the camera and move around and I won't lose any of the audio quality, which is great. But it does mean that I have to keep it charged. It's kind of an awkward situation. It's plugged into my camera, but then it's also hanging off the side here. So yeah, the flip up screen does annoy me somewhat. I think when I bought the camera, maybe I didn't quite realise it was flip up rather than flip out. Or maybe I didn't quite realise what that would mean in terms of videoing, in terms of vlogging, in terms of microphones, things like that. I didn't really think about it, and I kind of wish I had done. So I would recommend getting a flip out screen if you have the choice. I personally think it's better to flip out to the side rather than flip up or down. And the second thing that annoys me about this camera, which is kind of the camera but also kind of the app, is the app that they have. It's called, let me just see. So it's called Imaging Edge Mobile. And even though the app itself connects to the camera pretty easily, and I think it's quite good, you can't tap to focus. Now, this is a struggle if you're trying to take selfies or anything like that. Again, with the Canon M50, that was a great camera. I kind of regret selling it, honestly. I kind of wish I'd kept that for my videos and then this for my photos. This camera does do good videos, so it's not about quality, it's more just about ease of use. So with the other one, the M50, like I said, the app was so good that you could tap to focus and it would focus wherever you wanted it to. Whereas with this app, it doesn't focus with the camera, so you kind of have to guess that you're in focus. And I've tried a couple of times to take some photographs, they end up blurry. I think it does have the face recognition and the eye recognition when you're taking photographs, so you have to be actually facing the camera pretty much this close. I don't know how it would work far away if you want to get like a big landscape scene or anything like that with you kind of stood, you know, in front of a lake or something or a mountain. I don't know how that would work in terms of focusing on you. I think it would just focus on whatever. So yeah, that bothers me a lot as well. I know that's not particularly to do with the camera, it's more to do with the app and to do with Sony in general, but I really wish there was some sort of alternative. So if you have an alternative to this solution, to this problem, sorry, please do let me know. I really would like to find a solution. Okay, so let's talk lenses. So I have the Tamron 17-70, which is what I'm filming on right now. And even though I love this lens for photography and for kind of everyday use, it's not great in terms of filming. So at the moment, if I zoom you out, that's at 17 and the lens is kind of touching distance, and I can zoom you all the way into 70, which is pretty zoomed in. zooming back out to about there. So it's good for most situations in terms of photography, which is why I bought it. But I do find that when I'm doing these videos at home like this, it's not quite wide enough. And for a sit down video, you know, talking head, it's fine. But for anything, if I was to do some sort of fashion video or show you clothing, I feel like if I was to step a little bit further back, you can't quite get my whole body in. And I noticed this when I did my shoe unboxing with my Gabor or Gabor, I'm not sure how you say it, Gabor sandals. I'll leave it linked up here if you haven't watched that already. But I was kind of stood as far back as I could be in the room, and then you still kind of cropped off half of my head and you couldn't quite see me properly. So in terms of that, it's not great as well. So I am tempted to get a different lens. I'm going to talk about things I want to buy at the end of the video. So yeah, in terms of the lens, I do love it in terms of photography. It is 17-70 f2.8, which is great for portraits, for landscapes, for a lot of different things, but it's just not quite wide enough for vlogging or for kind of indoor videos, I guess, when I want to get something a little bit wider. And I also think having a wider lens would be great for photography as well in terms of landscapes when we go traveling. Okay, so next up is my Tamron 70-180 f2.8 again. Absolutely love this lens. It's not a lens that I use all the time, I'll be honest. I've kind of used it a couple of times, but when I do use it, it's something that you can't replace with anything else. Like, you kind of either have this zoom lens or you don't. 17-70, like I said, it's a great all-round. It's a good kind of travel lens, sorry. Great for day trips and things like that. But if you want to get detail, if you want to get something a little bit different, some really nice bokeh, some really nice zoomed in photographs, a 70-180 is kind of what you're going to need. So it was expensive. It was about $1,000, and was that a better use of money rather than a wide angle lens? I'm not sure. I really hesitated between the two. Ended up going for the zoomed in one because I do have a GoPro, which I'm going to talk about soon. So I kind of thought for GoPro I could have the wide angle, and then I could have this 70-180 for zoomed in, and I love it, but I really haven't gotten the use out of it so far. I think I will do when we go traveling and when we do more kind of photography things, because at the moment I'm at home helping my parents with the house. I'm kind of not doing a lot of outdoor travel photography stuff, but I think it'll come in useful when we do get out there into the world and get traveling again. Okay, so I did obviously just mention the GoPro. I have the GoPro Hero 9, which we bought the GoPro Hero 8 last year, I believe, or maybe the year before now. No, it must have been last year. And I loved it, but it didn't have the front-facing camera, and I found that sometimes for selfies or for videos, things like that, you couldn't quite see what you were filming. So we sold that and then got the GoPro Hero 9 instead. Absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. I'm still not quite used to the wide angle lens and of how wide it is. I have been using it to vlog on pretty regularly and I like it, but I don't love the quality. And I know I'm such a perfectionist with my photography and videography. I don't know if that could, if you can tell or not, but I just like things to be good quality. And I feel like with the GoPro, it's great for if you go for a hike or if you go for a bike ride or if you're doing something like sports, which is what it's made for. It is a sports camera, so it does its job. I think it's brilliant. But in terms of vlogging, I don't love the quality. And there is some ways that I can help improve that. So I'll talk about that in a second as well. But otherwise, the only other options for vlogging is to buy kind of either the Sony ZV-1, I think it is, or the Canon G7X Mark II. These are kind of the two cameras that everybody vlogs with, but they're not quite wide enough for me. I do like to be able to see a lot of the scenery, and again, especially if we go traveling, I do want to be able to see kind of temples and landscape and architecture and things around me, so I do want that wide angle view. So I think in terms of traveling, the GoPro would be great. It's just not the best quality. It's not as good as the Canon M50 that I had beforehand, because you can't quite focus on things either. I feel like if you're talking about something and you want to focus on it, you can't just put it up in front of the camera, because the GoPro just kind of focuses on everything all the time. So it's that kind of qualities that aren't quite there for me. So I need to learn more how to use it, I think, and maybe improve the audio quality, which I'm going to talk about again later on. And then lastly, I have the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, this is obviously with me all the time because it's my phone. I actually filmed my IKEA haul with it recently. I'll leave that video linked up here as well if you want to go ahead and watch that and see the quality. The quality was good. I enjoyed it. It's just an easy option, isn't it? You don't have to carry around an extra camera or an extra GoPro or extra kind of batteries or microphones, things like this. You just kind of pull your phone out and film. So I think it's great in terms of ease of use and practicality and just kind of always having it around with you. And obviously there's that saying where the best camera to film on is the camera that you have, or the best camera to shoot on is the camera that you have. And I always have my iPhone with me, therefore it's kind of the best camera in terms of just always being there and not needing an extra bag or extra things. I would say that it's a little bit shaky when walking, things like that. The video is good, but I would probably edit it and make it a little bit more contrasty. The audio is fine. It's fine. It's not kind of the best quality, so it depends on what you're looking for. But for me, it was a good kind of run around little vlog camera for my IKEA trip. It's something that I probably will continue to use when I don't really want to take out my big camera. So it is an option. You can absolutely film on the iPhone. It's a brilliant device, and I think the cameras are amazing. The audio is amazing. It's just not quite like big camera quality yet. Okay, so we've talked about cameras, now I'm going to talk about accessories. So I'm filming now using my tripod, and I have a Manfrotto. I'm not sure the exact model. I'll leave it linked below if I can find it. But it's a Manfrotto tripod, forgot the word then. And it's brilliant, it's huge, it's pretty big and it's pretty heavy, but it's good. And I bought this one specifically to hold a big camera and a big lens. So for if I do any landscape photography, this is going to be perfect with this camera and then my big 70-180 lens on it, and I'll be able to get all different angles without worrying about my camera falling off. So it's great for that. I don't know how good it would be in terms of traveling because it is bigger and heavier, like I said. I know that Peak Design do some that are meant to be super lightweight, but they're about £400, I believe. So I'm not sure if I'm going to trade this out yet. I love it and I think it's brilliant. It is a good size. It just is a little bit heavy and big maybe for what I need. But honestly, Manfrotto is kind of the brand that I would go for again. I think it's been brilliant. I've had it for years and it's still perfect condition, no scratches, no scuffs. It's just perfect. I have looked at getting one of the Manfrotto kind of tripods that you hold onto if I did want to get a different lens and vlog with my camera, so that maybe could be a tripod that I invest in later on. Maybe we'll see if that becomes something that I want to do. Okay, so microphones. I do have the Rode Video Micro like I talked about earlier. I've stopped using that just because if I have it on my camera, it blocks the screen and I can't see myself filming. So I might buy one of those things that kind of moves your hot shoe to one side so you can have your microphone on the side. We'll see if I do that. I might try it and see, you know, maybe do a video testing that and see how it works. So I do have it. I like the quality of the audio. I just don't use it so much at the moment. And then obviously I have the Rode Wireless Go, which is what I'm using right now, this little device here, and it's clipped onto the side on the camera. And now this has kind of been my go-to microphone at the moment. I use this for all of my yoga videos because I can be away from the camera and move around and not worry about the sound quality cutting out or kind of not being close enough. One thing I would say is I do think you need to have the muff on there, the microphone muff thing. I think I'm going to super glue mine on because when I have it on when I'm doing yoga, it doesn't always stay, and sometimes doing certain movements, it'll come off, and then if it's windy, it does pick up any wind noise. So I think I'm going to super glue mine on there, but that's the only problem I've had so far with the Rode Wireless Go. Also, actually, doing yoga, sometimes it does cut out. If I'm doing something where I'm facing the other way, it will cut out. So I'm trying to navigate that and trying to do my yoga classes so that I don't have my back facing the camera so much. So those two things I think are the only problems I've had with the Wireless Go. I do also sometimes use the purple Panda microphone, and I used it a couple of times for yoga. It didn't really work out for me. It's basically a lav mic that you attach to this device. So rather than having this device here, you would have just the little microphone. And I think it's a good microphone. It's just not something, again, that I use all the time. I feel like if you're gonna have something on your top anyway, you may as well just have the microphone rather than a microphone plugged into another microphone. So for me, the Wireless Go is kind of my go-to at the moment, even though, like I said, sometimes it does cut out and sometimes you definitely do need the wind muff. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is my Peak Design bag, my 6-litre Sling. Absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's so well made. I think it's so comfortable. It's so stylish. And I know it's not stylish in terms of like being designer bag and things, but it's stylish in terms of a camera bag. It's sleek, it's smooth. It's just a nice bag and I'm really enjoying having it. However, and there is a however, it doesn't quite fit as much as I hoped it would fit in there. So it does fit my camera and 2 lenses, so that's brilliant. But I kind of struggle to get in there batteries, keys, my purse, my phone, money, maybe a notebook, anything, sunglasses, anything extra than my camera gear. Even my phone, I can't really get in there as well. So I do struggle a little bit with this size. I am contemplating selling this and getting a 10 litre, or even selling it and getting something else completely different that would be bigger. And I was thinking about getting actually just a bag and having like a camera bag insert inside to keep my camera stuff protected, but have it more just like a normal bag rather than a camera bag. So I'm not quite sure, I'm still toying with the idea. I think that will depend on my next topic, which is things that I would like to purchase. So these are things that I have thought about for a little while, and I haven't really made my decision on if I'm going to buy them or not. So the first thing would be a different lens. Now I've looked at the Sony 10-18 lens, and I think this would be a really great option for having a wide angle lens. It would also be a great option for vlogging, because I think because it would be so wide, so it'd be 10-18, so if I was to vlog like this, that would be, that would be the most zoomed in it could be, otherwise it would be more zoomed out. Now that's me holding the base of the camera, so that'd be kind of the most zoomed in, otherwise it would be wider. So I think that could be a really great option for vlogging, because I'm not too keen on the GoPro quality like I just talked about. It would also be really great for doing indoor videos like this, but also any kind of work with hotels or anything like that I might get into for kind of interior photography and videography. I think a wide angle lens is kind of what you want for that kind of job. I've never tried it, so I guess I would probably want to try it first before I purchase it. I think it's about £500, 500 to £700 or £800, depending on where you buy it and who you buy from. So it might be something I invest in, it might not be. I haven't decided just yet. And then obviously if I did buy a different lens, I would need a different bag, because as I just spoke about, my bag that I have at the moment just about fits in my camera and my 2 lenses, so it would no way fit in a third lens. So if I did buy an extra lens, I would also need to buy a different bag. So it all kind of has a ripple effect. You can't just do one thing without then doing other things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of my lenses, and if I would, you know, yes, I would like to get a Sony 10-18. It's expensive. Would it be worth it? Probably. I'd probably use it all the time. I think I'd actually switch to that for my vlogging. And the reason I didn't invest in that to begin with, by the way, in terms of getting the zoomed in lens or the wide angle lens, was because I kind of thought the GoPro would be good enough, honestly. I thought the GoPro would be really great at vlogging, and I wouldn't want to vlog on this camera. And I also thought in terms of changing lenses, I thought I don't want to be vlogging and then want to take a photograph and have to change the lens, and then want to vlog again, so I have to change the lens again. Whereas I actually don't mind changing my lenses. So I've never really had 2 lenses before. I've only ever had just like a 70, I think I only had 24 to 70 beforehand. So I've never had 2 lenses that I wanted to switch between, and I actually find it absolutely okay to do that. So obviously I have my 17 to 70 lens that I'm filming on right now, and I have my 70 to 180 lens in my bag just behind you. And when I'm out and about shooting, I will just stop, change my lens, take some photographs, change it back, and it's not a big deal. So I don't see why I couldn't do that then with a vlogging lens and this lens to take photographs on. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, we'll see. So obviously that's the lens and the camera bag that I'm considering switching out. The other thing would be to get a GoPro Media Mod so that I could use this microphone on my GoPro. So I have my GoPro here, actually I can show you it. So at the moment I have these wind muff things on top, and there's one here as well, and this kind of helps with any wind noise that you might hear on the video, but I do find that the sound quality just isn't that great. So I went on a road trip with my mum. I did 2 videos, I think. I'll leave them below and probably up here as well, and I filmed the whole thing using my GoPro, and it was fine, but in the car it picked up a lot of the car noise, and I don't know, it just wasn't, it's kind of too wide for me, honestly. It's kind of too wide of an angle, and then the next option is kind of too zoomed in, and the audio wasn't great either. So I kind of think with the 10-18 lens, I'd be able to kind of zoom in or out as much as I want to, and it wouldn't have that super fisheye lens effect that the GoPro has, because I found sometimes in buildings or in the car it kind of warped the edges and it didn't look great. I know people love that effect, and that's fine, but for me I think I want more of a normal kind of effect. But this 17 to 70 is far too big to be vlogging on anyway. So something I would consider is getting the Media Mod so that I could plug in my Rode Wireless Go into the GoPro and have better audio that way. So that would be, if I didn't buy the lens, I would probably buy the Media Mod instead, and that's about £70 or £80, so it's not too bad because I already have the microphone already. And the last thing I would like to potentially invest in is a phone and camera tripod. So at the moment I have my camera tripod, like I talked about earlier, the Manfrotto one I'm using right now, and it's brilliant. But I do sometimes find myself wanting to film on my phone for reels or for stories or for whatever it is. And at the moment I don't have a phone tripod because we left it in Miami because we already had a lot of other things to carry around with us. So I don't have a phone tripod, and I kind of think, well, if I'm going to buy a phone tripod, I could buy a phone and camera tripod, so I just have one tripod rather than having two. So that's something I'm toying with the idea of as well. If you have any suggestions of a good phone and camera tripod, please do let me know in the comment section below. I'm kind of not sure what I would do for that, if I would go Manfrotto, or if I would go Peak Design, if I would go something cheap from Amazon. Obviously it needs to be able to hold my Sony A6600 and my Tamron 70-180 or a phone. So I can't have something too cheap and flimsy. I don't want my cameras kind of falling and breaking the glass or anything like that. So yeah, please let me know if you have any suggestions for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit random maybe, just talking about things that I have and the good things and the bad things and also things I would like to have. But I hope it was useful for you if you're looking at buying some camera equipment anytime soon, or if you're not sure about what you want to start off with. I would highly recommend my equipment. I think I've done a pretty good job of choosing what I wanted, considering I hadn't tried any of these before I bought them. So I think I've done well, but there are a couple of changes that I would potentially make. I have also thought about selling my 70-180 to be able to afford the wide angle lens. I haven't yet, just because I know that if I sell that lens, I don't think I'd rebuy it, and I do think it's a good lens. It's a good lens to have. I enjoy using it as well. Every time I use it, I'm like, wow, that's so good, because it's just so zoomed in. And I think for traveling, it would be awesome for portraits, for nature, for traveling, for landscapes, for architecture. I think it will be useful in so many different situations. Just at the moment, it's not a lens that I gravitate towards all the time. I think the wider lens would be better for me at the moment. So yeah, I'm toying with the idea. I don't know if I will do it or not, but anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Should I buy the Sony 10-18 lens? Should I just buy a Media Mod for this guy? What should I do? Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below what else you would like to see from me, and I will see you very soon. Bye!